Hey, it's Coach Jamila, and today we are talking about starting over after an unwanted divorce. So, have you recently been through an unwanted divorce and now are feeling totally disoriented or abandoned, unloved, unwanted, even afraid maybe even of just being alone? Like, how am I supposed to do this thing called life moving forward? If that sounds like you, I've got 3 tips that I'm going to share with you to help you navigate through this starting over process. So the first step is allow yourself time to grieve, okay? Listen, your life as you knew it is no longer. And you absolutely have every right to be sad about it. And you need to give yourself sufficient time to grieve it, to cry, to journal about it, whatever. Constructive ways, of course, of working through your grief, but you need to allow yourself to do it. And no, there is no time limit on it. In fact, something that you may find helpful is to consider the phases of grief as it pertains to when you actually lose a spouse in death. Those phases are very, very close to when you lose a spouse through divorce, especially if it was unwanted. Okay, so number 1, you have to allow yourself time to grieve and be gentle with your emotions and don't try to push yourself beyond your limits. Now, the second point is you want to keep yourself in a bubble. And by that, and you'll hear me talk about that in some of my other videos, but by being in a bubble, what I mean is you want to put all of your friends and family on alert, and even your children, especially if they're adults. But if they're minors, you'll have to provide some specific guidance because you do want to be aware of anything that pertains to their care. But you really want to put yourself in a bubble as far as not needing or wanting to hear anything about your ex's life, especially if he's moved on with another woman. You absolutely unequivocally do not want to hear anything regarding their relationship, what they're doing, and their so-called seemingly happy life that they're now living. You don't need to hear any of that, because every single time someone shares that information with you, the scab that has formed on your wound gets ripped off, and now your healing has to start over. And so it's never beneficial. It's never helpful for anyone to tell you anything that is going on in their life. And so you need to, like I said, inform your friends and family that you're going into a bubble and you don't want to hear about them. You don't care. He didn't want you in his life anymore. And so his life is none of your business, and vice versa. Your life is none of his. As far as it pertains to your children, yes, you need to be aware of what's going on for their own safety and protection. But beyond that, don't be getting into anything that has to do with the nature of their relationship or the things they do together. All that's going to do is hurt you and set back your healing. And you don't need that right now. You need to protect yourself emotionally so that you can start to heal and not have that scab constantly being ripped off. Okay? Now, the third step is you want to focus on the basics. You've had a husband for all of these years, and no doubt a partnership when it came to managing a household. There are probably things that you did, and there are probably things that he did, and now that you're alone, you're having to navigate it all on your own, and it can be extremely overwhelming. So you want to focus on the basics. When it comes to your money, just focus on your housing, your food, your transportation, of course, and then food, clothing, shelter. Yeah, just the basics. That's it. And don't allow yourself to become like look to shopping therapy, as it were, and wasting money in that way, or parenting through guilt with your children and buying them unnecessary gifts. The best advice I can give you is you want to stay consistent. You don't want to start parenting from a place of guilt and start just buying unnecessary gifts and putting yourself in debt or spending money that you don't have, because you have to focus now and really hone in on just the basics. You will eventually get to the place to where you may have some additional disposable income. And yes, it is a crushing blow to perhaps go from a significant increase to now it just being you on your own plus child support and alimony. There's going to be an adjustment period there, and everyone, including any minor children you have, are going to have to learn how to just get through it. And there are plenty of free things that you can find that you can do for fun that actually may help you lift your spirits, and find some happiness and joy in your life despite, this whole period of just disorientation and pain and grief that you're living in. So those are my 3 tips for starting over after an unwanted divorce. If you have been through an unwanted divorce and you're still in the grieving phase, I encourage you to make sure that you allow that to work itself out. But if you're kind of through that and you've determined that you want to be in another relationship, then I invite you to join my free private Facebook group, Get Real and Heal, How to Thrive After an Unwanted Divorce. I'll put the link in the description for this video. And then also, if you are in that place and you're like, okay, I want to be in a new relationship, Jamila, how can you help me? Then I also encourage you to feel free to book a free 30-minute discovery and action call with me, where we'll get to the bottom of what's going on with you and what's really holding you back from having that relationship that you want going forward. Okay? So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe. If you're watching this on Facebook, please click follow. And I look forward to seeing you here.